Hello and welcome back everybody to the Steelseries Malaysia Cup. It is game number 3 in this first semi-final, G-Guard versus Genysis. We of course at HeflaTV, your English coverage for this. And man, up to the last game we go. Who's gonna take it? We'll find out in probably about the next hour, maybe sooner, maybe later, who knows. But I'm Coacher and I'm joined by Grandis V for this third and last game. So, based on the early draft already, do you think anybody has the upper hand?
Right now, I'm favoring G-Guard. They have a lot of big teamfight ultimates, pretty much ensure setup and usually one team fights. Genesis, their initiation with the Centaur Warner is a little bit more focused, and now they have the Shadow Demon as well. Um, it's pretty much the same opening that we saw from last game, or at least very similar to what we saw from last game coming out from them. I don't know, I think G-Guard got heroes that are just of a higher caliber.
It's definitely just a wombo combo. I guess it's not like the most massive wombo combo because Chronosphere just straight after Ravage might slow things down a little bit, depending on what the next heroes will be, of course. Maybe if they have something like an Ancient Apparition, it's gonna be just awesome nonetheless. But we'll see. This time around, the G-Guard banning out the Jakiro. Jakiro has been in the winning team for both games, I do believe. And it is just extremely strong. Even if you fall behind the levels, don't get the most farm. As long as you have a Yule Scepter and level 7, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, fair enough. And well, we still have several high caliber, especially supports, still left in the pool, and I expect Genesis to ban out the Skarath Mage away from G-Guard. Although they're going to take out the Viper, which is going to leave that Skarath in the pool. Combos really well with the Faceless Void and the Tidehunter, but maybe they want even more Wombo in their combo. The Witch Doctor's already been taken out from them, but there's still plenty of other huge AoE supports.
It's well, any AoE supports will be nice, of course. But Mirana gets banned out as Genesis. The Shadow Demon Mirana combination not gonna be coming out. Once again banned, but Sand King might be decent enough. Going back for the same exact 3 heroes they also ran in game number 1, I do believe, for Genesis. Of course, there won't be a Jakiro this time around for them, but G-Guard. Go for the Skyra first. Mystic Flare, Chronosphere. Just an old combination by now already. So as the fourth one, are we gonna see another support or are they gonna show us their last core?
I expect it to be another support coming out from G-Guard, and maybe they're just going to go for the Ogre here. Um, Other than that, I'm not sure if there's anything that instantly comes to mind. The Sand King would have been a nice choice for them as well. Both teams have a lot of ways to start the fights, and Blink Daggers are going to be absolutely key in this game, as they are in most, at dictating the pace. Centaur Warner and Sand King, if they get those Blink initiations, could be huge, especially if you're able to kill Faceless Void before he's able to do anything inside the team fights, or Skarath Mage is pretty easy pickings. But it is just going to be the Ogre for G-Guard.
Just, it's pretty standard drafts, I guess. Maybe the Shadow Demon in most cases wouldn't be, but they've been playing it every single game so far. So for Genesis themselves, not really out of the ordinary, I guess. But their own cores now have to come out. So far they are rather like mid-game focused, with just getting the Blink Daggers, double initiation for them. Of course, going into the Tidehunter is always going to be hard. Unless they get something like a Legion Commander or a Doombringer to just guaranteed lock down the Tidehunter and make it so that they can't Ravage. Because even if you go in with a really good just Epicenter or something and stun up the Tide, he's gonna have the Kraken Shell most likely and can even pop the Ravage anyway. So it's gonna be a little bit hard, but Genesis is going for that Invoker now. Maybe wanting to just make sure the Chi-Guard doesn't get their hands on it, but they have plenty of setup for it as it is. Disruption, Hoof Stomp, Burrow Strike, all of them will be decent enough for the Sunstrike.
Yeah, and both of these teams have a lot of team fight potential, and I don't know, Genesis are going to be more focused on looking for pickoffs and small skirmishes, mostly looking for like, I don't know, the less 5v5 fights and more for like 3v1 or 3v2, things like that. And G-Guard want to find as many heroes as they can inside the Ravage and Chronosphere. The cooldowns on Genesis are quite a bit lower, but both teams have a decent amount of synergy inside of that. I expect this to be a pretty smashy mid game, especially once Blink Daggers come out from both sides. 15 to 20 minutes is going to be what I think really dictates who wins the game.
It most likely will indeed. Maybe if one or the other team goes for like an extremely hardcore carry, something like a Medusa, it's almost like the game is never over. Something like that. But why Pugna banned out? It's a hero we don't see all that often these days. It was used for like to countering Skyrim Mage, for example, or Tinker in the past, but Can a Tinker be coming out for Genesis here?
I don't think so. I mean, technically it could. They have the lane to throw it into. Safe lane farm the Invoker, put the Tinker in the mid lane. G-Guard are going to be picking up a mid hero for themselves, however, and I think that's going to be the decision of whether or not we see a Tinker. I don't know. I think it's just Genesis respecting the potential for G-Guard to get some really heavy pushing power, and maybe they are angling more towards the late portions of the game.
Well, maybe so with G-Guard. Well, Templar Assassin, gonna be a pretty aggressive pickup from them, to be honest. It's... I mean, it's nice to have minus armor, of course. Earlier Roshan's ages might be just the tipping scale for them as well. But, I mean, although you get extra range from those Psyblades, having the Chronosphere, it's like not the best hero to input damage into the Chrono, really.
Not really, but it is going to give them a decent way to assassinate the Shadow Demon Sand King. And in lane, Templar Assassin is going to have a decent time up against the Invoker, although Forge Spirits are going to munch through Refraction later on, especially with the early portions of the game. Templar Assassin, with just such a vast damage advantage over the Invoker, can really get ahead fairly soon. I'm not sure if I'm entirely on board with the pick coming out from them. I think I would have liked something a little bit more in synergy with the big team fight ultimates, but maybe this will help out Templar Assassin or G-Guard overall find pickoffs of their own.
Maybe Psionic Traps are usually good abilities, if not for nothing else than just scouting purposes, for example. Unfortunately, there is a Centaur with the Stampede on the other side, so Psionic Traps might not be enough, but if the Stampede should already be on cooldown, just a huge Ravage followed up by Psionic Traps will make it so that Genesis cannot even disengage, probably cannot fight as well because they're already so low. So we'll see how well it's going to work out, but Genesis themselves going for a Juggernaut as the last one. I mean, Magic Immunity is definitely going to be nice from that not the Battle Fury, the Blade Fury. And Blade Fury is pretty good against the Refraction charges also.
Yeah, and it's also not shut down inside Chronosphere. I believe that's a more recent change, but I don't know. It's an interesting choice coming out from Genesis. I like both of these teams' lineups. I'm kind of favoring Genesis even after saying I favor G-Guard after the first few picks. I quite like where they're going with this. A lot of pushing power coming up from Invoker and Juggernaut. And G-Guard might fall into a similar issue that they had in game number 1. Even if they're able to win the team fights, transitioning that into tower pushes is going to be pretty hard with the heroes that they have.
Their best bet will be Templar Assassin just going for a Desolator. With that, it's going to be pretty decent for them, especially with the Bloodlust from the Ogre, but should the Templar Assassin fail to get the Desolator, it is going to be hard, like you mentioned. For Genesis, Exort Invoker is going to speed things up a little bit if it's an Exort Invoker after all, which I would expect him to go for, especially if you have the Shadow Demon, you have just plenty of setup for it. Or would you prefer Wex in this case, or what's the preferable build?
I think Exort completely outclasses Wex in this game, although he has gone for boots first. An interesting choice coming up from his Smoker. That said, I suppose I'll go ahead and introduce the Radiant side. Genesis is going to be loading out on that side of the map. Nana's leading charge on the Invoker, as previously mentioned. Vexus on the Sand King, Andy on the Centaur Warner, 343 on the Juggernaut, and, well, he's actually potentially going mid. Starting out with 2 Iron Branches as well as 2 Shirtangas, and Quadruple A making his 3rd performance on the SD.
As for G-Guard, Winter once again back on the Tidehunter. Dota 2 playing the Ogre Magi, leaving Touche on the Templar Assassin with Skyref played by God knows what letters and just double boxception, I don't know, on the Faceless Void. And they completely missed each other out. Just it could have been a 5v5 clash. Low G-Guard, just one stun. They might still find the Skyref or the Ogre if they just keep on running. 3 for 3, not close enough yet, but with a nice Blade Fury, there's the stun, Fire Blast comes out as well, but the Blade Fury is going to do so much to them if they just can keep on target, never mind. They're going to keep on chasing for that Skyref, who is pretty damn fast normally. 325 movement speed, Andy with boost of Vexus cannot get close enough for the Burrow Strike. I still think Centaur, yeah, he's going to get the Hoof Stomp onto Skyref main, so that's going to be the first blood. Nana will pick it up, and if he wants to go for Midas on the Exort Invoker, he can get it now a little bit faster, but that chase was just a little bit silly. G-Guard maybe got a little bit too overzealous with that observer placement, and they even get the sentry on it.
Yeah, that sentry ward or that observer ward's completely gone. He can hit it from the high ground. That's the end of that. The attempt from G-Guard to look for that early kill, I don't know, ends up backfiring as the Scarlet Mage, he runs towards the left, and that almost ensures his demise. Hopefully for him, he denies himself to the tower, but he gives away that first blood to the Genesis side and to the Invoker as well. Faceless Void up towards top isn't gonna have, or is gonna have a pretty decent time up against the Centaur and Scarab Mage, although not the greatest. But
trouble. Can he burrow strike to the high ground? I think so. Yes, just before the last strike, 8 HP. Oh god.
And he'll be able to make it cleanly back to base. No deny necessary. Ignite's not available for the Ogre Magi, and he can't find anything. Nexus, I think just denying himself is probably the better option. But, I don't know, he gets the stack at the very least. So Sand King actually loses nothing, even though he cuts it incredibly close.
That's some value just stacking at the moment. He was on such low HP, but with the boots, there was no way the creeps were gonna hit him. Top lane, and he stuns up. The Faceless Void just showing his dominance as a melee hero against a fellow melee. Of course, a nice side pull did come through from the Scarab Mage, denying some XP to the center. But being up against a dual lane like this, he should be fine for the most part. If not get the most last hits, at least get the XP.
Fair enough. Right now, this early game looking really good for Genysis. And the lane that we haven't really talked about is mid. Juggernaut versus Templar Assassin. Not a matchup that I can say I've seen very much. And you mentioned it in the draft. Refraction is going to be taken out very easily by that Blade Fury. So maybe there's some sort of opening for ganks on the TA. I don't expect either of them to be able to kill each other, especially until level 6 comes out. But once that's available, maybe we see some killing potential.
Oh, there's a rune, or battle for the rune now as well. He should be able to pick it up, although Andy comes in as well. It's a regeneration rune, double edge. Oh, straight into the refraction it goes. Blade Fury will be there. Sunstrike as well will get dodged. Burrow Strike comes out, so I think that's a death. Yes, Hoof Stomp is there. So in the end, he got the regen rune, which did absolutely nothing for him. So nice kill, 2-0 for Genysis. Looking extremely good already. And not only is the Blade Fury nice against the refraction charges, also the supports. Oh, never mind. They might get Ogre Magi as well. Vexus is around, has one stun. Shadow Demon has the Soul Catcher as well if he wants to use it. There's the stun first. Soul Catcher not used yet. Disruption comes out. What? He's not even using Soul Catcher. I don't even know exactly why. Maybe he thought they're not gonna get the kill anyway.
I think he was hoping for, I don't know, just an illusion block. Soul Catcher probably should have come out. I don't know. Reserving his mana. I think it would have been unlikely to get that kill either way. And Ogre Magi is going to survive. Gush down in bottom, I think that was just for a CS, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like that's the case. Invoker is going to pick up Phase Boots, so it doesn't look like we're in for Midas, at least early from Nana.
Well, at the moment... Well, rather, coming back to the point I wanted to make is that Juggernaut, them sending or picking him overall and sending him to the mid lane. Blade Fury is nice against refraction charges, but Scarab Mage and Ogre Magi, they shouldn't have been or shouldn't be able to kill off had they been as just a roaming duo, but Andy does go down top lane. So even if they dual lane, they still manage to get the kill on center. That's pretty nice.
Definitely. I wasn't expecting Andy to die in this Faceless Void as having the best farm out of this entire game. Centaur is able to get a lot of experience out of this lane, but can't do much to stop Faceless Void from hitting the creeps himself. Andy Hoofstomp gets him to CS and might secure a second one. Never mind that, but the Centaur is still not shut down by any means. Scarab Mage making his way towards mid. Can't really do anything with the bottle as well as a healing where Juggernaut's going to be completely sustained.
Well, bottom lane, the Invoker, he's an Exort Invoker, yet still went for Phase Boots. Mobility is always going to be nice, I guess. Although, usually it's like Vex for Phase Boots, and if you're Exort, just get Power Trace for attack speed. But mid lane Haste Rune, Blade Fury used by the Juggernaut, Sunstrike will not connect, and now the Ogre coming in as well. Juggernaut has to escape, and he's going to go down. That's a little bit overzealous and just pays the price.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Burst Strike from Vex is also going to miss. Sand King will pick up a little bit of experience in mid, which is pretty nice for him. But yeah, when you do use Blade Fury, your Haste Rune is taken off of you, and then under the tower, couldn't do very much with the rest of that duration. If he had level 6, maybe it would have been an easier kill, but even then the creeps were close, so it would have been pretty RNG based whether or not he kills the TA.
That was definitely a misplay. I mean, Genysis, they went up 2-0 early on now. It's 2-2. Not too bad. Mid lane looking at the last hits as well. Temper Assassin 22-5 compared to a 16-4 Juggernaut. So mid lane is rather even-ish with Temper Assassin having a slight edge so far. Looking at the offlaners, Centaur is level 5, 15 last hits as well. Comparing that to Winter's level 4.5, almost level 5 and 14 last hits. So even there, it's pretty even across the board.
Yeah, and this is kind of the story of the other games. The laning phase looks to be pretty even from both sides as far as their individual mechanics and what have you. Invoker, even though he's going into an Exhort build, looks like he's heading towards an Orchid.
Wow, okay then. I guess it's not a bad item. Just shut down the Faceless Void once he jumps in. As Faceless Void, he went for a Midas. Gonna be getting it pretty early on. There's the Time Walk. Nice stun from Andy. Sunstrike coming out as well onto this. Oh god, Faceless Void, he even gets hit. Andy, had he kept on going with a double edge, I guess he wasn't sure whether the Sunstrike will hit or not. And there aren't any points into backtrack either. Of course, Andy didn't know that. And there's the Chronosphere Centaur. He went in a little bit too late. I don't think it would have been enough anyway. Doesn't even get another hoof stomp off. Just tries to double edge. Do what he can. That was a little bit questionable. It's like indecisive whether to go or not.
Definitely, and well, for now, G-Guard, their Faceless Void is getting out of control. In the earlier games, the Faceless Void that we've seen hasn't been getting that much farm, but this game is completely different. Midas at 5.5 minutes, can't really ask for much more, and now getting a kill, in fact, 2 last hits on top of that. Last hits on kills, I should say. 37 last hits all said and done. But either way, this Faceless Void's going to be hitting very hard later on in the game, and Genysis can't feel comfortable taking it late up against him.
Mid lane, looks like G-Guard want to come ganking on the Juggernaut. He has the Blade Fury, so he should be safe. Bottom lane, they get the jump onto the Tidehunter as well, so that's going to be a kill. Just Disruption. Sunstrike, never mind, it was used, so more damage. Already 4 points into X-Ward, so Sunstrike does about 287.5 pure damage. Not too little, amplified by a Soulcatcher a little bit as well. But now mid lane, there's the Silence coming out. Psionic Trap to slow down 343, and with the Meld, they bring him down easily. I really think it wouldn't have happened, but nighttime vision, I guess, Juggernaut just wasn't ready for this.
Fair enough. A little bit of a side note on Invoker's build. He currently just has the casual Sage's Mask, and he's not going to commit towards anything with that. It looks like he's just going to keep it casual for now. Going back for a Midas, it's still going to be a very fast one. Like 7.5 minutes after Phase and Sage's Mask is a really good timing. Two last hits on kills, as well as farm in lane. Effectively the same farm as the Faceless Void, but Void got his Midas earlier, so this is going to pay off a little bit faster.
But mid lane now, 343, goes in with the Blade Fury, has the Face Boots of course, has the ultimate ready, although might be running into a Silence right now. There's the stun, Silence as well, Meld hit comes out, he's gonna die again. Oh god, that was horrible now. Shadow Demon gets the disruption, but Concussive Shot will slow him down even further. Burrow Strike does land on Tuto, beautifully done with a Soul Catcher onto the Ogre Magi. Touche might lose his life. Yes, Sand King gets a double with a level 3 Sandstorm. Centaur cleans up the third one. So in the end, it was still worth it for Genysis, although could have been a bit cleaner. But that's a Blink Dagger 8 minutes in for Vexus.
Yeah, Vexus just saved Genysis' bacon in that last fight. A beautiful Burrow Strike catching both on like the very edge. There's like one over here, and then just on the very other end of the Burrow Strike. And then the Sand King securing it with the Sandstorm for the double kill. That's a very, very fast Blink Dagger. Now Sunstrike up top. Faceless Void's going to lose his lifetime. Walk away. Ooh, it's going to die to the tower shot. Very unfortunate for Faceless Void. Not enough backtracks there to save him.
That was so close. For a second I thought he actually got away with the Time Walk. But the tower made sure to finish him up. Mid lane, 343 wants to go again. There's the Burrow Strike, Epicenter coming in. Blade Fury to follow. Don't think Touche can get the counter kill from this anymore. Another refraction though, still not enough. Stampede even used just to make sure. Although bottom lane, they're gonna get Nana in return. So they get the Invoker down. It's all fine, killing off the Invoker like that. Hand of Midas was off, or on cooldown rather anyway, so won't lose that at least. But lots of kills exchanged. Just, I think like 19 minutes in, we had 9 to 7 in the last game, so a little bit more action-packed early game.
Yeah, for now, Tidehunter does have his Ravage, so G-Guard are getting their tools up as well. But this Sand King, he pretty much has core amounts of farm. In fact, the third highest farmer in this game, above his friendly Centaur and Juggernaut.
And the Centaur actually has quite a lot, considering that his lane didn't go favorably for him. Of course, just the Sunstrike combination is a crazy amount of damage. He didn't go for a single point into return either, so even Hoofstomp will help him out just dish out the damage. Now, 343 on the run from the Psionic Trap. As long as he has the Blade Fury, should be fine, although Meld might still be enough to just burst him down. It's level 2 at the moment, so not the scariest I think, but the smoke comes out from the Ogre and the Skywrath. They have the Mystic Flare, Fire Blast combination. Oh god, Quad A, do not go any further, and he's backing off.
For now, the action has been diffused, but with the smoke on the Ogre Magi, they're going to throw the Blade Fury into mid. They catch out Touche, but then again, 343, he might be able to get that ultimate off over on the high ground, but now he's going to be inside the Chronosphere, losing his life for the kill on the Templar Assassin. 1-for-1 mid-trade, and it looks like that's all it's going to be until Vexus jumps in with the Burrow Strike onto the Scarlet Mage in her tower. That's going to be 2 kills going the way of Genysis again. Vexus playing very well as a Sandstorm, and another Burrow Strike cooling down. Fire Blast multicasting onto Vexus. Can Burrow Strike in turn? Let's see if he's going to find the opening. Burrow Strike with the high ground, stunning up Dota 2. Sunstrike also lands, and he's going to drop incredibly low. Nobody else to clean up this Ogre but the Sand King. I don't think Vexus is going to go in again. Doesn't have enough mana for the Burrow Strike. But either way, this SK play has been pretty on point.
It definitely has. I mean, he's been setting up so many kills for the team. Might want to go for another one if he gets a bottle charge from Juggernaut, and that's exactly what will happen as well. So he does have enough for 1 stun plus even a Sandstorm to follow if necessary. So extremely well done. In the meantime, Invoker gets the tier 1 tower bottom lane. So more gold for them. Go for the Necrobook as I guess was to be expected. Has the belt of strength already for it. So gonna have it soon-ish as well. Number 1 in net worth, of course. And everybody's farming reasonably for Genysis, apart from the Shadow Demon. And top lane, there's the Blink, Hoofstomp, double H, Sunstrike to follow, temper assassin goes down again, Vexus. Once again, he was a part of a kill. They're just setting up so many things, but with the double Blink daggers that they have now, G-Guard, they're gonna have to be afraid for their lives just every single time, and I don't think we've seen a single Ravage yet either, have we?
No, not that I recall, and probably not one that netted them many kills either. The Sand King and Centaur are the ones running the pace of this game. Even though the ultimates are up for G-Guard, they haven't been able to use them very effectively. Faceless Void has a Mask of Madness and can do a decent amount of damage himself, but right now isn't entirely battle ready to go up against Genysis. They're just getting so much on one too many of their heroes, and that one too many is the Sand King. Currently, Genesis's top 4 are above the bottom 4 are above 4 heroes of G-Guard, I should say. Faceless Void's the only one that's keeping up, and even then can't do very much, although he'll get a bash on Andy, sending him for a Mystic Flare with the silence. That's going to be a kill on the Centaur. Partially lucky and didn't have a Chronosphere, so Centaur wasn't expecting it.
Well, really nice pick off, and that's just the power of Skyrive Mage and Ogre Magi together with that. But mid lane, they want to go on to Shade. There's the Burst Strike first, Sunstrike to follow as well, even Epicenter use just to be on the safe side. Sunstrike did go purely into the refraction, but they still might get the kill anyway. The Sandstorm will be enough. The Ravage is even popped by Tide, but a little bit too late. So that's a Ravage for more or less nothing.
Hesitation coming up from Winter is going to cost Templar Assassin her life. Jump up in top. Chronosphere and Anana trying to cast something, and he's going to die. It doesn't even matter what that was. Multicast going to do him in inside the Chrono. A very questionable TP in front of his tower, knowing if Faceless Void is there.
So, kills once again exchanged. Invoker a little bit of a better target than Temper Assassin, just because Invoker, he has doubled the Temper Assassin's net worth, like literally doubling it at this point. So, nice pick off there, getting some value out of it. Invoker, his Necrobook is delayed, and he had the same items and the same gold like a minute, 2 ago. But now there's a smoke from 343, has the Omni Slash ready, Vexus, he's around as well. Oh, Ogre Magi, he's going to go down for sure, or maybe even the Faceless Void. Stun comes out first. Blink, waiting for the stun. There's the Hoofstomp first, Blade Fury to follow, Burrow Strike as well. At least Faceless Void escapes, so it's only a support. But this might also transition into the tier 1.
Yeah, even though Genysis haven't been able to, or have been picked off here or there, they still seem to find the momentum, and I don't know, G-Guard, this is unfortunate for them. The Templar Assassin I thought would have a lot larger of an impact at this point in the game, but the TA's died 6 times, which is not really acceptable for a mid-Templar Assassin.
It just isn't indeed. It's a hero that you usually pick for his survivability. But I guess the Juggernaut pick with the Blade Fury just making good work of the refraction charges. Last time around, when he died, he even managed to just refract out the Sunstrike. But even so, the Epicenter was used, which was plenty. And Epicenter is going to be level 2 soon enough. He's less than half a level away from it. But there's the silence of the Vexus. He gets the blink into the trees, and suddenly he's safe and might even go for the turnaround once the silence ends. No blink though. Is he gonna keep on running? Never mind. Just gonna farm up the creeps. So 13 to 10. Looking at the graphs though. Whoa, never mind. That was a bait. Mystic Flare used. Sentry down as well. But now Vexus and he's around. They're gonna go in with the Stampede. Burrow Strike first onto the Skyrive Mage. No Sunstrike even needed. Blink, Hoofstomp. Sandstorm gets the kill to Shake. Gets the Psyblades once, but Andy should be tanky enough, or is he? Psionic Trap as well. Ogre coming in with the Fire Blast. I think they're gonna have enough with one more melt hit. Will we have a defensive disruption in time? No, but the Burrow Strike Epicenter lands onto Sunstrike to follow. Oh god, that was so clutch. Centaur does die in the end to Temper Assassin somehow, but it was worth it.
That turnaround from Vexus, if I'm not mistaken, he bought mana boots over at the side shop before getting that combination to have the mana to use both of his spells. And even if he didn't, he barely had enough, and Vexus was able to make a huge turn. Sand King is quite honestly playing out of his mind. 4-0 and 8. You can't ask for more on any hero, to be honest, let alone a support.
Well, Nana gonna get Chronosphere in the mid lane again. So he's gonna lose his life. Don't think there's any escape. There's the Gush as well. Gonna get bashed by the time lock. So another kill on the Invoker. And suddenly Faces White. He's number 1 in net worth. So that's a good sign. Invoker still only has a level 1 Necrobook. But there's the Omni Slash. My god. No chance for the Skyraf. But yeah, you mentioned Vexus, man. He has impressed. Just this Sand King performance. Wow. If he can keep up with this pace, they should be just cruising through the game. But they're gonna go in mid lane. Burst Strike up on the Tidehunter. Can they get the kill? Tidehunter is pretty tanky, but looks like not nearly tanky enough.
They're going to bring in their Ogre as well as Faceless Void. Time Walk Cord, no Chronospheres for 70 seconds. Going on to Vexus. Hoof Stomp, however, going to land. Double Edge Burrow Strike onto 2. That's going to be the end of Faceless Void's life. And now the Ogre Magi looking for a TP out. I don't think that's going to succeed, and he will fall. Mega kill for Vexus, and again, just finding the Burrow Strike angles at the perfect spot. And when you get such an early Blink Dagger, it's pretty easy. But killing that Faceless Void is so important for Genysis. He's really the only hero that G-Guard have that can do anything up against the lineup.
Just Vexus, I don't know. He keeps on finding those angles, and Healing Word did just expire, but it did enough before it just timed out. So tier 2 down to half HP. They don't have the craziest push. Now 4 Spirits will come in. Necro level 1, not even worth popping in most cases, to be honest. Or if you pop it, make damn sure the enemy doesn't kill it. The last build damage doesn't do that great amount, although it just gives away a lot of gold and XP. So yeah, he's not going to pop it. Maybe leave it for Roshan. Do you think they could take Roshan at this point?
Maybe. I don't know. It definitely could be an option for them. As long as Chronosphere is down, I think they can be pretty safe in going into it, even without a Tidehunter Ravage. Blink Ravage is nice, but unless there's follow-up from the Void in particular, I don't think they can get very many kills. And even though Void has a lot of items, his damage is pretty limited as well. Just the Mask of Madness and Midas to bolster that attack speed.
Mid lane Vexus goes in with the Epicenter on the Faces Void. How much can he pack track? Sunstrike coming in. So that's another kill Vexus sets up. The creeps get the kill, but multicast onto Andy bottom lane. Gonna get silenced up, Mystic Flares down. So yet another one of those trades. But Faces Void definitely a bigger kill.
Definitely, and Invoker's gonna have his level 3 Necrobook soon. Vexus under tower is gonna be Burrow Strike. They Ravage for the Sand King, but he's gone. He went down towards the south. He blinked away, and now Ravage is down. Buyback from the center, wanting back into this. Disruption, they find the poor support, and well, Ogre Magi is not gonna be able to do anything but watch himself die. Burrow Strike from Vexus over the trees isn't going to be able to find anything, and G-Guard survive with the TA and Tidehunter, but lose 3 others.
I really liked what the Sand King did there. Although he didn't find the target, he was hoping that maybe somebody was going into the little hole in the trees, just trying to TP out or something. He knew that Ogre was dead. Sometimes all the players like stay there for one hero to get the kill, but they knew Ogre is dead anyway, so he looked to the future, just went in for a random Burrow Strike. If it had connected, fine, you get the kill. Didn't connect, not a huge issue either, and that's gonna be maybe a rush for them, and Vex is up to another 2.2k gold. He's sharing the highest level in the game as well with 3 others on their same team. My god. And just the Ravages also. There hasn't been like one single like epic Ravage.
Yeah, and that's terrible. Right now, jumping in the pit, but this is without Ravage for Winter. He destroys the Healing Orb, Mystic Flare into nothing. Jumping for the face of Void, he's immediately Deafening Blast. Gets the Chronosphere onto 3, but where's the follow-up? The Blade Flare is doing too much damage. He needs to back out, and he needs to retreat. Blink Forward by the Shadow Team doesn't kill off the Void. Templar Assassin trying to clean up, but she doesn't do enough. After Refraction's gone, she's going to be double-edged and cleaned up. Faceless Void, in the meantime, dies, I believe, to the Demonic Purge, and everybody else is going to clean it through Roshan. G-Guard, my goodness, I think that's backbreaking.
I'm not too sure. I mean, the Chronosphere wasn't all bad, but since the Blade Fury was activated from before, it's just Mask of Madness into Blade Fury. Kids, do not try this at home. It just doesn't work out. I mean, Blade Fury is one of the highest damaging spells. It does 700 damage on the max level, and Faceless Void just pretty much took it all in. So that's an Aegis. That's it here too going down. Genysis, this fight just, my freaking god. Suddenly 26 to 13. We used to have like 8 to 7, like 11 to 10, something like that in the kill scores. Suddenly Genysis just skyrockets.
Yeah, and there's nothing G-Guard can do. They're down Ravage for 17 seconds, down Chrono for 45. Tier 3 tower is going to be pressured. They need Winter to hit the Ravage of his life, and even if they do, where's the follow-up going to be? Healing Ward, the backline sustain this push, Necrobook 3 on the ground. I don't think this tower is going to survive, let alone the racks afterwards. They have Ravage now, and there might be an opening for a team fight, but not the way that Genysis are positioned, really. Sanking over in the sidelines, Vex's counter initiation could be huge. Melee Barracks being focused. They're pretty much forfeiting. They jump in for the Ravage. Lands on 2 pretty nicely. Multicast onto 3-4-3. Focus down the Juggernaut, but now it gets off the spin. The turn comes around. Winter's going to lose his life. Jump in from the Sand King. It's going to be the death of the Templar Assassin. She needs to get back in here, and she's buying back immediately. Melee Barracks dropping low. 3-4-3 is going to lose his Aegis, but that's all that he loses for now. Templar Assassin looking for a little bit more. Bird Strike onto the backlines. They're going to be able to blow up the Scarth Mage. Chronosphere landing on a 3. Templar Assassin walks into it and faces Void, does no damage. Gush onto quadruple A, but this is going to be full lane of barracks. And GG called up by the Overmagi.
They just couldn't fight at all. It's only 21 minutes in, but they couldn't find a single kill. Ravage wasn't even all that bad or anything, but the Epicenter, Faceless Void almost found the Sand King. He was like next to him, didn't scout him out immediately during during the channel of the Epicenter, and wasn't able to stop it. And yes, the blink got disabled, still had the 4 staff though, got through I think maybe a single burst strike, but Epicenter most of it onto 2 at least. So man, Vexus 5-0-14, just the hero for this game for sure, or the player for this game. But guys, this was it for this best of 3. Genysis, they advanced to the grand finals, where they will be facing either Team Malaysia or Tapai on I think the 2nd of December at 14 CET, 22 SGT I believe. Tomorrow will be the second semi-final, Team Malaysia versus Tapai at 15 CET, 22 SGT as well. So lots of more Dota to come, and even today HeflaTV 1 is still casting Moscow 5 International versus Balkan Bears, so check that out on Twitch. At 17 CT, BOCE, Battle of Central Europe, will commence on HeflaTV HP1 on Hitbox. So lots of Dota to come. You can find all the updates about the streams on our social media, Facebook and Twitter.com/HeflaTV, of course. If you want to follow the the casters, and leave us some feedback or something, it's at Coucher for me, at GrandisV for my co-caster. And just have a good one, enjoying some more Dota of the day.